Hello, everyone. This is the Supply and Demand Trading Podcast. This is episode one, How I Found Supply and Demand. And I'm your host, FX Telepath. So, yeah, my trading journey started about a year ago. I quit smoking cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for about 8 years. And eventually I just had enough one day, and I said I just don't want to do that anymore. So, I just quit cold turkey. Just had my 1 year smoke free the other day. So, that was the time it did work because I tried quitting before, it never worked. Yeah, I quit smoking, so I had a lot more extra time on my hand. I was trying to, every time I thought about a cigarette, I would try to, watch a different YouTube video or just distract my mind. And I don't even really know how I came across it, but I came across this video. It was how I called the title of it was How I Learned How to Trade in a Week or 2 weeks or something like that. And I watched that video and I thought, maybe I could do that. I heard that you make a lot of good money doing that. And I've kind of always known about the stock market and trading at it from a young age because I had a friend that I played soccer with who his older brother made a bunch of money. I don't know if it was, I was pretty young, so I don't know if it was trading or just investing, so I kind of always knew about it. And then I had a buddy reach out to me about, not reach out to me, we're buddies. We were just talking. He was mentioning like long-term investing for 30 years. And I said, well, what if you just could learn how to like buy low and sell high, you know what I mean? Instead of holding long term, because I have long term investments and I've seen the fluctuation in them, where I'm up $1,000 and I'm down $1,000 at the end of the year. So I thought, what if you were more active with it, like more actively trading? So then I ended up watching a couple more videos. I opened up a TD Direct Investing account where it was like $10 to buy, $10 to sell. I have another video about that on my page. And I took I don't even remember, maybe like 5-6 trades. It was more on marijuana stocks, and the commissions were killing me. I don't even think I want to trade on that account. And so that was with TD Direct Investing. And I don't even remember what strategy I was using. It was kind of just, it was a support and resistance type thing, because that's another thing I wanted to bring up. The first guy I started watching on YouTube was Ricky Gutierrez, who's more of a day trader kind of guy. So I was kind of trying to do his strategy, but more for like swing trading, not day trading. Just kind of support and resistance, buy on the dip in an uptrend kind of thing. Wasn't really working out for me. So I went back. I stopped trading on TD. I only did that for like maybe a month. Stopped trading on TD. I kept learning, watching more videos. For like, I don't know. I don't even remember. It was like, it's all kind of a blur because I've been doing this like a lot since for a year now. Like, it's been my whole life pretty much. So just kept learning. Never even opened up a demo account for a while. I think it was like 6 months. And then kept watching Ricky Gutierrez videos. I wanted to try day trading because I didn't like the idea of holding overnight and long term. So I tried to follow I watched a bunch of his live trading videos. I tried to mimic that trading style. I did it on a demo account with Questrade. I'm in Canada, so open up a Questrade demo account. Tried doing it on there. I was doing like okay, I guess. Like, definitely not winning money, but definitely was like a little bit, definitely losing money, but nothing crazy on the demo account. And then I kept watching. Finally opened up a real account. I tried taking a couple trades using Ricky's strategy. I think I lost like 3 in a row, and the strategy never really worked with me. It was like a support and resistance type strategy. You're only using one time frame, like you're just on the 1 minute, like scalping. It was just stressful. Seemed like low probability too. Like, I don't know, maybe I think a strategy does work. I just never really put in the work because it just never really clicked with me. So I tried that strategy, didn't really work, and then I don't know when, but I always watched Don Fron from the Don Fron show as well. He trades a little bit differently. He trades with like zones. His strategy, I think, in my opinion, is basically support and resistance, just wider. It's not like a line; it's a box, so it gives your trade more leeway, like more room to breathe, compared to Ricky's strategy. It's more of a structured strategy. I was watching him for a while. He's where I learned how to set a stop loss properly. Like, you don't just buy with like $3,000 and when it goes down 1% sell. Like, he's like, buy as many shares as you can for this price. Like, he was definitely very helpful for that. That's where I kind of learned risk management from him. watching his videos and his live streams. I ended up joining his mentorship for I think 2 months. I think I took like 10 trades, maybe a little less, with his strategy, and I think I only won two. And the commissions were just kind of killing me because I was trading with small size, and in Canada we don't really have the greatest commission platforms and stuff, so you end up paying quite a bit. It's just kind of eating up my profits. And to be honest, like Don's strategy never really made sense to me either. If you look at his zones, it's like it always looks like It always looks like you're gonna get stopped out whether you're going long or short. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think it works for him. I have nothing against him. He's a cool guy. He did help me out a little bit, but I didn't really like his strategy. It never really clicked with me. It never really worked for me. It just didn't really make any sense. It was kind of just like you're guessing. Like, okay, it got to the zone. Maybe the zone's holding. Like, his zones do hold sometimes, but then it's like, well, then how do I make my decision if I go long or short? Like, it never was really clear. Maybe it was me. Maybe I just never really bothered looking into it. I don't know. I'm pretty into this stuff. I just never really made sense to me, but nothing against him. He's a good guy. And he kind of mentioned supply and demand trading when I was in his mentorship. Like, he had just mentioned it. I've heard him mention supply and demand trading a couple times. So I kind of just started YouTubing that, and then I came across Sam Seiden's video. Sam Seiden's part of Online Trading Academy. He's not the founder of supply and demand, but he's like the founder of this exact strategy, like the supply and demand trading strategy, because it's all from Online Trading Academy, and he joined Online Trading Academy, and he's the one that gave them the supply and demand strategy, because Sam Seiden worked at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, facilitating institutional order flow. And so he saw all the buy and sell orders. So that's why he came up with this strategy. He basically just would see the orders, and he would be facilitating them. And he would see the orders, and he kind of just came up with a strategy just by doing that, charting it on a chart. Like, this was in the 90s when you could first start to do that at home. So he came up with the strategy. So I started watching his videos, and it just amazed me, like, how much this worked and how opposite it was of what everyone was doing, because we all know that I don't know, everybody has a different number, but it's like 90 to 95% of retail traders fail. And most of the retail traders are using conventional technical analysis, like support and resistance, patterns, indicators, like moving averages, all that stuff, which, I mean, it can work, I guess. It never really worked for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but what attracted me to supply and demand was that the fact that, like, this was something that, like, most people were not using. Like, I had never heard of this strategy. The Sam Side videos were like super old and like didn't have that many views. I'm like, oh, maybe there's an edge here because this isn't what everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? And he would always mention, like, careful what everyone else is doing, like the 95% of traders, because they lose. And I just thought, yeah, like, why would you want to be trading like a bull flag or a bear flag if those are the patterns that retail traders use? And I do think that bull flags and bear flags work. It just, in my opinion, you need to have supply and demand as your main thing, as your main strategy, and then you can use the bull and bear flags. I think the supply and demand just helps with that. So, yeah, that's why I was attracted to supply and demand. He would show the examples, and like it would just amaze me how much, like, prices falling and falling, and it looks like there's no end in sight in the fall, and then all of a sudden it goes up. Like, it starts to rally, and he has a zone drawn out where it rallied from, right? And then it was just amazing that you could find, like, the tops and the bottoms, and they don't always work, but there's things that you can do to just put the odds in your favor with, like, confirmation, especially when it's counter trend with your higher time frame and stuff like that. So it kind of just amazed me how well, like, the strategy as a whole worked, and how nobody else was kind of using the strategy. Like, I really felt like it was an edge, because you're not using indicators, patterns, support and resistance. Support and resistance, supply and demand are similar, and basically just in the idea that, like, you're buying at support, you're buying at demand, and selling at resistance, selling at supply. But they're kind of the opposite. It's like, I'm sure you guys know if you're watching this and you're familiar with supply and demand. Supply and demand strategy, the more it touches a level, the weaker it gets. And support and resistance, it's the complete opposite. It's the more it tests it, the stronger it gets, which in my opinion, that doesn't make any sense. It does work for some people. That's completely fine. It just doesn't work for me. So, yeah, that's what really attracted me to supply and demand, watching all those Sam Side videos and stuff like that. And then I kind of got into forexfactory.com, went under the trading institutional order flow section, the thread, was reading that quite a bit. I started watching Moneyball Austin on YouTube. He's now my coach / mentor. He's been a huge help to me. I'm still not consistently profitable, but I have taken 18 trades so far in 2020, and I'm only down 1%, which I think that's pretty good because, 4 of my trades like in my first month were just all rookie mistakes that I will never repeat again because I've journaled them and everything. So Austin's been a huge help. He's a great guy. Yeah, it seems like he'd give the shirt off his back for you, so I showed up to him. He's been huge. I'm hoping I can keep going and hopefully be consistently profitable one day. I think I will be. I don't think that's just blind confidence. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing, I think, everything I should be doing. I'm just making little mistakes and just getting used to being in trades and seeing how they work. But yeah, I love supply and demand trading. I'm so happy I found it. It did take me quite a while, but I'm also glad I did all the other stuff and lost. I didn't lose anything serious. Nothing at all. One thing I had from the start was my risk management down. Like I never bag hold it. I always use a physical stop loss, never mental. So I've never really lost more than I wanted to, which has been huge on my journey. And now that I trade supply and demand, I feel like I have because I've traded 2 strategies. I've traded Ricky Gutierrez's strategy, and I've traded Don Fran's strategy, and then I've traded the supply and demand strategy, and I can just tell already that the supply and demand strategy has just been working out way better for me. I feel like the odds are stacked in my favor. And honestly, I feel like if I were to go back and use Ricky's strategy or Don Fran's strategy now that I know supply and demand, I think I could maybe make it work a little bit. I think I could have more winners. Obviously, I'm not even consistently profitable with supply and demand yet. All I'm saying is that I think that after I've learned supply and demand, I think I could go and use those strategies and have a better idea of where I should be buying and where I should be selling now that I know supply and demand. So, but yeah, that's kind of been my journey. It's been a long one, but I've learned from all my mistakes, which is the most important thing. Happy that I'm now at using supply and demand. It's definitely my core strategy now. I don't want to use anything else. I know there's a couple setups that I'm getting used to that I really like, and I think that's important too, is finding those setups. So yeah, that's basically how I found supply and demand trading. Basically just a lot of hard work, a lot of looking through YouTube and watching video after video after video about it, just trying to repeat the information in my head to get it stapled into my brain. Yeah, I guess that'll kind of conclude the show. Not really sure what else to say, but this has been the Supply and Demand Trading Podcast, and see how much more comes next. See you guys.